Welcome to RenovatED, where we talk about all things home and renovation related. Hosted by Jennifer the RENO-GAL Goldsby, a renovation lending expert. Let's get renovated. As we wrap up season 1 of Renovated, I want to thank the listeners who hung in there through my growing pains and my first attempt at a podcast. I've learned an awful lot, and hopefully season 2 and beyond gets only better. One listener in particular told me that he learned a lot through the podcast episodes, which made me happy because that's exactly why we're here. That's why we do this, right? He even shared his own personal experience with a new construction home that he had purchased several years ago, and there was a drainage issue in the backyard that has led to some foundation issues. Now we've got him on the path of exploring which financial solutions are going to be best for him and hopefully bringing an end to his foundation issues. So I'm extremely excited that we get to help at least one family out there. Hopefully there are a lot more families that are being helped through this podcast as well. I think I got turned on to podcasts maybe about a year ago, and since then I have listened to my fair share, hours and hours and hours. I love to listen when I'm in the car, when I'm doing chores. I mean, there's so many opportunities, and I'm learning a ton of new things, all kinds of things about history, about science, just some really cool, fun stuff, lots of stuff about health. So all kinds of neat and interesting things. It occurred to me that while there are a lot of really good podcasters out there, there are a fair share of some who tease information without giving enough detail to be helpful. They want to sell you something, a book, a subscription, follow me, click on this, links below, all sorts of things. I want to be different. I want to provide the most help possible without a cost, with no hook. And so I thought it would be helpful to guide you on how to find a renovation lender. Unfortunately, there is no published list. There are different types of renovation loans. You have conventional loans through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, neither of which give you a list of lenders who offer them. You've got FHA loans, you've got USDA loans, VA renovation loans. USDA or Rural Development and the VA, they don't share a list of renovation lenders. But HUD has one, not very easy to find. They don't publicize it, but if you know where to look, you can find a list of lenders who are doing the FHA 203K standard and FHA 203K limited loans. I'll share the data from that list with you guys on the screen. The HUD endorsement reports is where I'm pulling this information from. HUD works off of a fiscal year that starts October 1st and goes through September 30th. So we're looking at a HUD fiscal year of October 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 2024. The information is a little dated, but I wanted to give you some lenders' names that represent a full year of 203K production. If you follow along on the screen, you're going to see the list of lenders that offer FHA 203K loans and the number of FHA 203K loans that they originated in a full HUD fiscal year. I want you to keep in mind that bigger is not always better. It seems counterintuitive, but I can say that because I've worked for both small lenders and large lenders. And I'm going to tell you, when I worked for the larger lenders, I had buku problems getting my loans through processing, underwriting, closing. I had such nightmares. In the heart of the pandemic, I had clients who were literally living out of a moving truck because we couldn't close their loan on time and get them into their new home. It was so shameful. I didn't last long there. I couldn't handle it. I can't handle that kind of stress. I take my reputation and my name very seriously. Once I realized that lender could not back up their claims and provide the level of support that I needed, I immediately began looking for a new home. But suffice it to say, that wasn't my first time learning the hard way. In my experiences, bigger is not always better. There's something else that I don't mind sharing. While I would normally agree with many real estate agents who recommend using a local lender, I think there's a lot of advantage in doing that, especially when it comes to certain states that have very specific guidelines, like Iowa has some guidelines on their title insurance, and Florida and other states have a different way of calculating taxes than maybe Most states do. There are just some outliers out there. Different states have different regulations, different practices. It's good to have a local lender who understands that. So while I would normally agree with many real estate agents that using a local lender is going to be a best practice, when you're looking for some sort of specialty loan, whether we're talking about reverse mortgages, second mortgages, non-QM loans, or in this case, renovation loans, this is one occasion where being local is not most important. I'm going to compare this to a recent experience I had at the grocery store. I wanted to buy some chestnuts, some organic chestnuts. Now, first of all, if I want organic chestnuts, I'm going to have to go to the right store. I've got to go to a grocery store, right? I can't go to a hardware store. I can't go to a retail shop. I've got to pick the right store. When you're looking for a renovation lender, first things first, you have to find a lender that even offers what you're looking for. So we've got to start there. Then I go into the grocery store to look for my chestnuts. I'm sure it would not surprise you that I couldn't find what I was looking for. So in other words, you can't just go anywhere. You can't go to any grocery store to find chestnuts. You can't go to any lender to find a renovation loan. At the end of the day, I struck out. I couldn't find a grocery store that had what I was looking for. I ended up buying them on Amazon Prime, where I could find my organic chestnuts. It took a lot of research to find an outlet that could provide what I needed. So I'm going to do a lot of the work for you here and share the lenders who are doing FHA 203K loans. Doesn't necessarily mean if they're doing 203K loans that they also do the conventional versions of the renovation loans or the USDA versions or the VA versions. It just means that they offer the FHA renovation loans. But it's reasonable to conclude that any lender who is offering FHA 203K loans may also offer other types of renovation loans. Unfortunately, when you talk about USDA and VA renovation loans, those get even harder to find. So it's going to be tough. You're going to have to do your homework. I'll give you a head start here by sharing a list of lenders that you can call on or look at their website to see if they offer the type of renovation loan that you need. Finding a lender is step one. The next important task is you need to work with a loan officer that knows what they're doing. It's not just about finding a lender that offers renovation loans. You also need to align yourself with someone who is very detailed and experienced in renovation lending. They need to know their guidelines. They need to know which programs are available to you and which ones will be the best for your particular situation. They need to know what lender overlay is versus agency guidelines, so they'll know where there's a little flexibility if your scenario is somewhat out of the box. Ask questions when you're talking to your loan officers. You might ask them how many renovation loans they've originated in the past year. How long have they been originating renovation loans? This is a good question to ask. Do you have a recommendation for a good 203K consultant? How do you guys manage draws? If your loan officer cannot answer those questions off the cuff, that is a huge red flag. You're going to want to continue shopping for somebody who knows what they're doing. It's very important. If you don't have the right team in place, this is going to be a very tough transaction for you. It behooves me to share that the company I work for, Diamond Residential Mortgage Corporation, is licensed in many different states, and we do offer renovation loans in each of those states, including Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nevada, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin. I myself have relinquished most of my state licensing except for Indiana. I'm in the Indianapolis area. I'm still licensed in the whole state of Indiana. If you have a project in the state of Indiana and would like to work with me, you're welcome to reach out to me. My telephone number is 844-RENO-GAL. You can also take a peek at my website, therenogal.com. Even if we won't be working together, looking at that website is a great place to start. I give you all kinds of information on the different types of renovation loans that are available. There's guidance for your realtor, guidance for your contractor. It's a wonderful resource for renovation financing. Now that we've wrapped up season 1, I want to solicit any feedback, good, bad, ugly. We want to hear it all. And please send us your requests for future topics. If there's something home maintenance, or renovation related, let us know what you want to learn about, and we'll get experts on the line to educate you. Season 2 will be underway soon. I'm lining up guests for Season 2 now, and some of the things that we'll talk about include how contractors get paid, very important topic, maybe the most important topic for any contractor you're looking to hire, what it really means when you get pre-qualified. Is it all about the purchase price, or is there more to that? We'll interview some homeowners who have been through the process, and they're going to share the down and dirty with us on what it's like to live through a renovation project. It's not for everyone. We'll talk about what happens when things go wrong, anything goes sideways, things like opening up walls or floors to find that there's a leak nobody knew about, or maybe some foundation issues. It could also include those instances where homeowners and contractors just simply can't agree, and how we iron out disputes. We'll talk about licensing and permitting requirements, something not only homeowners, but plenty of contractors overlook when they're bidding a project. So lots of good things coming in Season 2. Stay tuned and let us know what you want to hear about. Now, the legalese required to appease attorneys, compliance officers, and regulators. This podcast is hosted by Jennifer Goldsby, NMLS 591226, VP Renovation Lending. The topics discussed herein reflect my personal opinion. They do not represent the opinions of Diamond Residential Mortgage Corporation and its management. Discussions about loan programs in this podcast are not a commitment to make a loan. Programs, approvals, rates, fees, and loan terms are subject to loan applications, credit risk, appraisal evaluation, underwriting guidelines, and other lending or qualification criteria and limitations, and are subject to change without notice. Not all products are available in all states. Not all borrowers will qualify. Diamond Residential Mortgage Corporation, 582 Oakwood Avenue, Lake Forest, Illinois, 60045, 847-244-9301, NMLS 186805. For licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org/entity-details.aspx/company/186805. Equal housing opportunity. Diamond Residential Mortgage Corporation is not affiliated with or acting on behalf of or at the direction of FHA, VA, USDA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or any governmental body or agency.